How can I teach my children to do what needs to be done without getting upset with them? How to go from doing it myself to being a do-it-yourself teacher. My children were my biggest teachers all their lives. They always challenged me a lot at the border of like to go over my own comfort zone, because they came so close into my personal space that I needed to take action to make myself hearable in order to bear being together. And now we had a new nice get together. We have been on a road trip together, my 21-year-old son who lives in Germany and my 12-year-old son who lives in Finland with me. And we spent 2 weeks traveling together. And it was quite challenging for me because I tend to be like overcaring. I like to provide, and I'm also like quick in thinking and planning, and also in doing like the necessities in daily life. And especially my eldest son is not. Like his pace is very, very slow, and he is kind of not aware of anything basically what needs to be done. So I got quite triggered by that, because like me like doing the caring and the providing for all these years, and also the over caring and the over providing, because I am kind of impatient. For me it's much easier to do it myself the way I want at the time I want, than to like giving space for people around me to like start at their own pace, or to maybe learn how it could be done. So in order to make this trip comfortable also for me, because and also for my children, because if I feel triggered by that, for example, by doing too much and other people don't do anything, I also don't behave very like loving anymore. So I needed to address that. And then I also did that drawing. I already talked about that, about my mother role. I have that here because it's so important. I made a video about that, and I discovered that I wanted to have this provider role much smaller, which I did. And this is the new do-it-yourself teacher role I'm exploring. And this is what I learned. So what can I do to teach my children to take action for the things in daily life that need to be done? For example, we want to leave the house and pack our stuff to go on a trip. Or we want to move our tents, put all our stuff in the car and leave to the next place. Or we want to eat something, like where's the food, who is preparing the food, and what happens with the dirty dishes afterwards. So all these things are things like, especially my eldest son had never thought about before. And I was also mad at myself because that guy is 21, that like, how could I not have taught him that? But I know that we have like mother and first son especially have a very, very intertwined relationship. And for me, it was always very difficult to like bear his pace. And basically, I guess I didn't. So when he was small, like I was just carrying him somewhere because I was much quicker and I had the plan to go somewhere. And I most probably also didn't have the patience to wait until he does things in his own pace. And he obviously was always very slow as well, because he has had and maybe still has a little bit left over of this being born very, very early, like 28 week. And so we had a double special relationship about that. And there was something about his pace and his abilities who needed more like slow pace and growing, and me being not patient enough and also being quick in daily life things. So very interesting. And what I did here when I discovered this do-it-yourself teacher role, I thought about, what do I need to feel comfortable like in that? What do I want from my kids now to participate in the daily life stuff on our trip? And I picked a very small amount of work for them in order to like teach them a little bit, and also to feel less devaluated myself by doing it all myself. Like I liked to prepare the food for everyone and to think, what do we need, what will we buy, what, like to have all this food stuff in my mind, and also to do that. But I didn't like to see all the dirty dishes left back on the table after eating and nobody caring for that. So I started with clear communication. After I had made that decision for myself, what do I need to feel more comfortable? I communicated. Boys, everyone, after food, any food, will take his plate or bowl and his spoon or fork and clean it in that way that for the next meal it will be clean and ready. And we were like working on that until it got quite natural, and we didn't get to the second step, which I thought would be able, like we will take turns in doing the dishes for everyone. We might work on that on our next trip. Yeah, so I'm grateful for my teachers, yeah, for my children, who are always the greatest teachers. So my first learning was, if you want to go away from doing things yourself to being a do-it-yourself teacher, first thing is stop doing it all by yourself. Second thing was communicate what you want. And the third step would be participate everyone in what needs to be done, when does it need to be done, who will be doing it. And the last step, like for me, what I want to learn is being kind to how their abilities at this moment, how they are able to, for example, stick to their own plan. Like, I need 1 hour to pack my stuff and then I'm ready, but it doesn't take 1 hour, it takes 2.5 hours. And like, I'm with my packed bags in the car, being impatient, but to also kind of learn, okay, they have that different pace and they also are allowed to misjudge their own timings, like misplan their own timings, and then maybe learn step by step. Yes. So I love my new role, do-it-yourself teacher, and I have my 12-year-old to practice in daily life, which is much easier now because we are not that much like that badly intertwined with each other. So I have some hope that I can like progress on my way of learning now. And then clear communication provides results, and also a kind environment. Can recommend that, because clear communication, I didn't say what I mean with that, but for me it's like saying how the things are for me, and maybe also voice how is my expectation to that before I get upset, and voice it just as it is. And that's why it works. Like, if you do it with being upset, then you get this reaction of, no, I'm not doing that. And they are actually like in opposition to your way of saying it. So lots to practice on, lots of kindness invited still in the interaction. And if you live together so closely with your children, there is, in my opinion, no other way than taking the opportunity to learn and grow. Although this is not really comfortable. I'm sure you have your own experiences. You're most welcome to share them in the comments. I'm happy to read about your experiences. If you would like to share. See you soon. Bye bye. Have a beautiful summer.